listening to The Betmaker Show. This is the Golf PGA Safeway preview for Monday, September 23rd, 2019. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of The Betmaker Show, Brian Blessing.
It is one of our favorite segments of the week. It's our good pal Cam Stewart. I'm Brian Blessing. I'm in Vegas. He's north of the border, and we're talking golf in North America and across the pond, and we always have a couple of chuckles. We cry in our beer, whatever it is. I will say this to you, Cam. Never been so happy at the end of a tournament where I didn't have the winner. I did not play Sung Jae Im after having played him all summer long, and the guy loses in a playoff. I mean, it would have been so classic that he wins the week I'm not involved, but he doesn't get it done in the playoff. He continues to take a big lighter to your money.
Yes, he does. But, yeah, he's kind of like the Asian ATM. The guy just keeps on collecting, Brian. Let's give him a lot of credit. Every time around the leaderboard, we're going to see Sung Jae Im. He should have closed the door this time. Sebastian Munoz, those trending in the right direction. And, Brian, this is what I have to say to the people listening to the golf show here. We have to do first-round bets now. I am going to maybe do first-round bets all season long. We talk about that and we joke about our Thursday Warriors. Well, after I told you we had Wallace, my favorite guy in the British, he disappeared leading after the first round, and I had Tom Hoagie Sandwich leading after the first round, a 90-1 and a 30-1. I have both leaders on Thursday. I didn't get that text from you because you just knew it was bound to happen.
I know.
Great starts, bad finishes. So what I'm going to do now is shop around and do a little sprinkle on first round because you got to be rewarded for something. I'm looking at the end of this tournament going, wow, these guys started off great and they just basically disappeared into oblivion come the weekend, which was a little bit frustrating.
It's crazy. I mean, as we both discussed, that you got to look long and hard. You got to find yourself a Brit to win the thing. A Brit won it. It was Danny Willett, but we both had Matt Wallace. Wallace, first round leader. It's his, by the way, home course.
It is.
And he's the first round leader. So now I'm all excited. Second round, okay, going to be in this for the long haul. And he hits driver off the tee on one. An aggressive play. It ends up a foot off the fairway in thick heather. He proceeds to bogey like the first three holes and blow his brains out right out of the gate in round two. Game over.
Yeah, it was tough to watch, Brian. I was really excited, too, and it was kind of weird because Wallace is one of those guys that's very even-keeled. I'd expect that from a Ty Hatton to make a bad decision like that and cost him a tournament, but it was really, really hard to deal with. But we're going to expect him there, but that's the thing, Brian, and that's what we talk about with the golf betting. When you go down to the book and you retool for the weekend after the cut is made, you look for a little bit of value, and I think first-round leader bet is something that I'm going to have because I don't know how many times you and I have had the guy leading after one or two rounds and not getting it done. So it's one of those things that I think we got to put in our portfolio, buddy.
All right, my man. Well, let's turn the page. Let's look ahead.
Yeah.
And we're talking the Safeway Open where a lot of big name players are going to jump in the fray. Justin Thomas is on the board a little over 6-1. Patrick Cantlay 9-1. Adam Scott, Matsuyama 16. Sung Jae Im's 20. Dechambeau 20. I'm sorry, that price is no good. Until he gets the slide rule and if solves a math problem, I'm not anywhere near that character.
Protractor, anybody?
The protractor.
Honestly, I want to put a protractor to his head.
He walks up on 15 with a 2-shot lead, and he's standing. You're sitting with swing thoughts, and what am I going to hit here? And he's going, "What's pi times 86?" Like, get off the course.
I agree. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with this scientific attacking of golf. And at 20-1, he will not be on my card.
Molinari, he's got travel coming in, 25-1. Snedeker, 30. Ben On played good, 30.
Good price. Good price at 30 for On. Brian.
I'm going to throw one at you, buddy. You know me. 40-1 is kind of like the starting point for me.
Yep.
How about a guy that played really, really, really good in the playoffs? How about Abraham Answer at 40-1?
Abraham Answer is one of those guys. Yeah, his golf game is really peaking, Brian. He was a guy that we noticed, and he's just continued to get better and better. I'll start a little bit lower. I'll give Ben on a look at 30-1. His recent form is fine, and I'm willing to take a shot. The Safeway Open California tournament in Napa Valley. I'll go with my boy Colin Morikawa. I don't think he's out partying with the Get Along gang on yachts. I think he's actually working on his game. So at 33-1 for a guy that was absolutely stellar at the end of the year and should have won twice, not just once, I will take him at 33-1. I'm a big fan of Colin Morikawa. This kid is going to win a lot.
Forgive me. I can't help myself. And I almost want to bet him because I can't stand, this sounds awful, I can't stand looking at him. And it's annoying as hell. And at least if I had money on it, it would be more palatable. But as a human being, he's a good-looking guy. But on the golf course, Chez Reavie, there's just something about, like, it's like he's wearing a hat that's like 7 5/8, and it should be,
from a guy that has a huge cranium. I agree. That thing's like a globe.
Does that make any sense? I mean, he just looks. It's like Matt Kuchar smiling at a quadruple bogey, and it's everything about Chez Reavie when I look at him going, ugh. Is that nuts?
I don't know, Brian. I don't know. I just, he's like Bruce Bochy. What can you say? The guy's got a huge melon. Like, some people can't have, hey, he's a winner of the Canadian Open, so I got to give old Chez Reavie a little bit of love. But at 40-1, he's one of those guys too, Brian. He's really showed up. Like, before we're like, Chez Reavie's like kind of, good in the B. Like, you look at golf and you break it down in like the A flighters and the B flighters, but Chez Reavie had a really good year. I think we need a little bit more than 40. Due to the, advanced field. We got guys like Cantlay. I love Cantlay, but at 9-1, like, this is right in his wheelhouse too in California, but 9-1, like, come on, man. I need something at least like a 16, like a Scott and a Matsuyama. I'll be probably taking him in matchup bets, but yeah, at 40-1 for Reavie, yeah, he's got a big melon, Brian, but not a big enough price for us to take.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website at betmaker.com. All right, buddy, here it is. All right. I'm going to say this with a modicum of confidence. I got a nice price play. This guy, I had him last week, and asleep at the switch in the first round, shoots a 71, think he's going to miss the cut, comes back like his hair's on fire. And then his first shot in the third round, he started on a par 3. He gets a hole-in-one, goes hole-in-one, birdie, and then takes a double bogey and shoots himself in the foot again, or he could have won the damn tournament. Dylan Fratelli.
Yep.
It was 55-1, and he finished T6, only 3 shots out with a horrible first round. He's like, and they're still giving you, he was 80-1 last week. He's 55-1 this week. This guy can play.
Oh, Dylan Fratelli's great. No, I remember the time when he won too, Brian. Like, I was sitting back, and there's nothing better when you have a guy in a golf tournament on a Sunday and he's actually looking confident instead of pissing the tournament away. And I think he has that type of build and that mental game. He looks very, very strong. He doesn't collapse in final rounds. No, Fratelli at 55-1. This is what you got to do. A lot of these other guys who are here this week, they've been taking time off. How's their form? We don't know if they're out, going having wine parties with their buddies and their wives and partying their asses off, or are they really working on their game and going to slowly get back into it? I'll tell you one thing, Dylan Fratelli at 55-1 looks damn good to me. The guys around his price range, like, I don't care if Phil's 50-1, whatever, he's coming back this week. Fratelli's playing, and he's playing well, and that's a really nice price for a solid golfer.
Cam, I'm looking at his scorecard this past week, all right, and he shoots a 71. Yeah, nothing, right? Just a nothing burger in the first round. But in round 2, he has 5 birdies, 1 double bogey, all right? In round 3, he had a hole-in-one and 5 birdies and 1 double bogey. He takes either one of those double bogeys out of the equation. But it's what they say in major. You can't take doubles. Take double out of the equation. 2 holes over 4 days cost Dylan Fratelli the tournament last week.
Yeah, I know, and I don't expect that again. So, It's one of those things, Brian. It's going to happen, but he has the form and the mental makeup to really, really bounce back. I also don't think he's intimidating. Like a lot of these guys, like take a look at Tom Hoagie. I had when push came to shove and he was in the lead. He talked about it. He crapped in his pants. Like a lot of these other guys are going to have to learn how to win. They're going to get close, but I trust Fratelli, and that's the thing about betting golf. You have to find a guy that's going to close the door. Like it's hard to take him at 20-1. This was his tournament last week to win. He still didn't win, right? You could top 5 him, you could top 10 him, but you need those guys that don't get scared on Sunday, and I think he's definitely one of those guys. And I got to hand it to our boy, like Lanto Griffin, Brian. Since we've even mentioned him in a couple shows ago, this guy's getting paychecks out of the sun. But I'm not going to take him at 71. But go Lanto, go.
Well, he's motivated. He's scared. He's trying to get enough money. He's trying to get enough money to build a safe house.
to get away from Harding. See him on Dateline. Yeah, no. Yeah, I tell you, I'm impressed with Lanto. What about this one? I like to ride the current form. It worked with Hoagie for a while, and then he fell off. But what about Cameron Percy? He had a really nice tournament last week, 140-1. Brian, that's a big price for a guy that played well.
Yes, and I'll throw one more, I should look. I don't know. I don't know, but I think he's coming off the shelf. How about CT Pan at 90-1?
Yeah, that's a good price for CT Pan.
Huh?
That's actually a great price. That has to look at the guys he's around, right? Tringali, Damon, Adam Hadwin. Yeah, Adam Hadwin 80-1 too. There's some interesting players in that 80 to 90 range, and I'm a big fan of CT Pan. He's got game. I like it. 90-1.
All right, buddy, let's swing it over to the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship. Are you proud of me? We're getting ready to talk off. So, hey, we're going to talk about the Dunhill. I go, wait a second. Isn't that the one they play on a bunch of different courses in St. Andrews? And
you're good, Brian. Yeah.
Lo and behold, huh? This is a weird one.
Any tournament that's still sponsored by Smokes, too. I know you like a smooth Marlboro, and the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship goes down real smooth for the Europeans. Yeah, it's kind of funny in North America. They've gotten like the tobacco sponsorship out in Britain. They're like, come on, more, smoke more. Anyway, this is a great tournament. You got Carnoustie, you got St. Andrews, and then right, Brian, and then we play on 3 different links courses, and then after the cut, it's their version of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Then they go back to St. Andrews, the old course, to finish it off. So people aren't screwing around here. We have some real nice talent here. Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, your boy Shane Lowry, who won you lots of British pounds. Danny Willett, the winner from last week. What a story Danny Willett is, too. This guy he pulled the Lee Westwood, Brian. He went from basically a guy that was off the map, lost his golf game, slowly but surely gets it back, because after the Masters, he fell off the map, and to win last week in that field, let's give this guy some love here. And he finished it strong, going up against John Rahm. That's quality. Danny Willett, good on you.
He had to completely start over. It is amazing. That is no small thing. When guys win that first major,
it's tough.
Some of them vaporize.
It's true. And Danny Willett, I know Lee Westwood felt this when he was one of the best players in the world, totally lost it, went to like 250. And for people that don't know, Danny Willett couldn't make a cut. Like, he lost his game totally. He was going to probably leave the game, but he stuck with it, got back with it, and won a huge tournament last week. So very impressive, Brian. I won't be taking him at 25-1 this week, but man, he's an impressive guy.
John Rahm's remarkable, isn't he? 7-1. He's there every week.
Every week. Buddy.
He's fiery, and there's always that one 4-footer that, I mean, if it weren't for short putting, think of the number of tournaments John Rahm could have won in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been on him a lot of the times where he's missed those short putts. But I'll tell you another thing, too. I'm just looking at leaderboards and I'm watching golf. When can Rafa Cabrera-Bello figure it out? Like, this guy, his tee to green game is stellar. It's like top 10 in the world. He is a horrible putter. Not just bad. Like, John Rahm can get hot with the putter. Cabrera-Bello is never hot with the putter. He's 35-1. You want to take the guy because you know he could be there, Brian. Another good performance this week, but the putter once again holds him back from winning. But a nice price at 35-1.
And again, the link style of this, I was looking. I mean, tell me he's there somewhere with 2 rounds at the old course, and I don't see Louis Oosthuizen, and I'd have taken a peek. So this is pretty much, other than Tony Finau there. McIlroy and Rose, of course, but the PGA rep there is Tony Finau, and 25 to 1 on him. This it kind of looks chalky, doesn't it? This one
a little bit too chalky. I'm a fan, but I can't take it at that price. Need a little bit more. Ty Hatton, Brian, has won this tournament. Last year it was Lucas Beauregard, but Ty Hatton went 2017, 2016. He was a winner back-to-back years. He's 30 to 1. He could be a force. Eric Von Ruin kind of let me down a little bit last week. Didn't really play as good golf, and so did Hoa Tong Lee. But just out of those guys, like I'm looking at who kind of catches your eye the most.
I was going to say, a $10 flyer on Hoa Tong Lee. Run and get some Chinese food and watch the tournament.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I will never play with the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, who? Juice Luton? No. Juice Luton's done. What about Matthias Schwab? Trades for less with Schwab at 55 to 1. What's that commercial? Oh, this is the broker killer. Yeah, Matthias Schwab, basically. Yeah, 55 to 1. Watch out for this guy, Brian. He's going to be on our radar on the European Tour this year. I think he's really good. And this name is not easy to say. It's put this on a hockey jersey.
Bazoudenhout.
Yeah, watch. Yeah. I actually had him one time this year at 80 to 1, and I just picked him because I was watching the European Tour and I started to notice him. I'm like, wow, this guy's, he's been on page 1 and 2 of the leaderboard, but Bazoudenhout's actually got a game, 66 to 1. Watch out for this guy. He was lingering around the top all weekend.
Oh, he was tied for the lead there for a bit.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's the real deal. I might do a sprinkle at 66 with Bazoudenhout.
The price is a little telling. I mean, the home run price isn't there, but of the first clump, Bert Wiesberger at 25 to 1. I mean, this guy can play.
He can play. Don't you need a little bit more though, Brian? Sure. With Wiesberger in this field with McIlroy, Rahm, Rose, like I would have put Wiesberger. You would have got my attention around 35 with Hatton and Van Ruin. But these guys aren't stupid. The books are smart. They understand Bert Wiesberger is a world-class player there. 25, he's good, but that price is just not enough for me, my friend.
You want one swing for the fences? Like I said, I'm not doing cartwheels about any of these guys, but just seeing Brandon Grace at 110 to 1 on major style courses, right? Grace's game in majors, right? He steps up. I mean, and if you want to talk about the rotation with Carnoustie and the old course, Brandon Grace is moderately intriguing at that price. I don't know.
He's not in good form though, Brian. And another guy that I would look at in kind of decent form at a good price, Sam Horsfield, 90 to 1. He's playing a lot better. You could look at a guy like Eddie Pepperell. I think I'm going to pass. Alex Bjork, he's a guy that'll pop up on the leaderboards. We know about Andy Sullivan, but out of those guys, like at a price, as far as I would go, I would take a look at Lucas Beauregard at 80, who actually is the defending champion, and I'd look at Sam Horsfield at 90 to 1.
And the only other one I would throw out there, actually, he was hanging around for quite a while on the weekend, too. The lefty, Robert McIntyre.
Robert McIntyre, watch out for this guy. Young Scottish player, Brian, and the books have caught on. You're not getting McIntyre at 90 and 100 now. He's 50 to 1. You've noticed the last few weeks, McIntyre's been there. He's been there. He's not afraid. He's going to break through one of these weeks. He's 50 to 1. Wish we got a little bit more, but watch out for McIntyre, Brian. I think come the golf season, he's going to be on our card a lot.
All right, but we're back up on the beam. They gave us a whole 2-3 weeks off. Then we'll get the fall wraparound tour, but we'll have the race to
tournaments
Dubai.
Are big too. Like I know we were talking about, we got back in it with we're talking about the Greenbrier, but look at the tournament in England. Like this is big. You're playing it on St. Andrews in the Safeway. Some guys are stepping up. Like I got to admit, this week we got some pretty nice fields. The quality of golf, they call it the off season. Brian, looks pretty damn busy and talented to me.
There he is, Cam Stewart. It's our weekly look ahead. Golf on the PGA and European Tour.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
Well, that's the Betmaker show for now. We publish multiple times each week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please take a moment to leave a rating and review, or subscribe to our show feed, or share our show with a friend or two and help us grow the show. We very much appreciate it. Visit us on the web at betmaker.com. And reminder to sign up for the newsletter. Thanks to our engineer, Darren Vandermolen. and producer Mike Gallivan. The Betmaker Show is a production of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated. Betmaker is a registered trademark. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this content without the express written consent of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and/or interpersonal relationships. At Betmaker.com and The Betmaker Show, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.